Hello, I'm Bill Shopoff. I'm President and CEO of Shopoff Realty Investments. I'd like to welcome you to our 2024 year-end recap, as well as our forecast for 2025 and beyond. The first place I'd like to start is to thank our teammates here at Shopoff Realty Investments, our investors who've placed trust and confidence in us throughout the years, and the consultants who work with us day in and day out to make our projects successful. The first place I wanted to begin is just a recap of the economy. Obviously, 2023 and 2024, our industry, commercial real estate, has been severely impacted by the activities of the Federal Reserve. Not just the increases in rates, but the overall tightening of the credit markets. We're now seeing a little bit of a turnaround from that, with the Federal Reserve having begun the interest rate reductions that we'd expected. It certainly took a little bit longer to get started, but now we've had 2 rate reductions and a forecast for additional reductions moving into 2025. It appears Jerome Powell and the fellow governors have successfully navigated the sought-after soft landing. We've managed to keep unemployment in check. We've managed to keep GDP growth going, and we're going to, looks like, avoid a recession. For all of that, I'm fairly grateful, and I think all of you would be as well. Even with that, there have certainly been challenges. Commercial real estate, multifamily housing have been adversely impacted. Higher interest rates has indirectly led to lower values across the market, and certainly a significant drop in transaction volume. We saw a major drop from 2022 to 2023, and only a small increase from 23 to 24. The final numbers for Q4 of 2024 aren't in, but I wouldn't expect them to be as dramatic as people were hoping for earlier in the year. I think in part through the delay in getting interest rates reduced, but also just the general anxiety about the election. And maybe that's a good place to pivot. The election is now over. For better or worse, whether you picked a winner or a loser, we now have our government in place, and we did so in a fashion that appears to be quite peaceful, fairly efficient, and we found out the answer quickly and decisively. So now we can go about designing our plans, our business plans, our economy around the new government. I think generally this is a positive. I think that we'll hopefully get behind the growth of our businesses, a good economic forecast for the future, and continued unemployment being low. So I think generally speaking, the economy feels quite good to me. There's spots, obviously, as I said, commercial real estate's been one of those challenging places, but we will see the bright spots in it throughout the year. Clearly, with the election over with, one of the things we're doing is monitoring policy changes and how that's going to impact our business and the investments we make in 2025 and beyond. We see several areas where we think it's going to be extremely favorable and a couple that cause us some concern. Certainly the idea of tariffs and deportations could be concern for our industry. A significant amount of people in the labor force are undocumented in construction, so we would think that would be potentially inflationary, and obviously tariffs would be inflationary. So those are 2 things that we view as somewhat negative, but so much of the other policy could offset it. So we're just monitoring it on a day-by-day, week-by-week basis as things come forth, and we'll make decisions and pivot appropriately based on where we see the future. All of this, though, has been surprising that even with those backdrops, the concern and anxiety about inflation, the recession that people thought was looming, and then these world conflicts, what we still have is an incredibly robust stock market, with depending whether it's the NASDAQ or the Dow, those indices are up 15 to 30% year to date. And so the kind of leading indicators of the economy are very strong, with our stock market indices doing quite well. Now it's time to move to the activity we had here at Shopoff Realty Investments in 2024. The year was extremely active, although not as much so as we anticipated. We both sold less assets and acquired less assets than our forecast for the year, but sometimes you get what the market delivers. Most of what didn't transact during the year will transact in early 2025. So it's not as if those transactions went away. They just merely got delayed by a quarter or two. But the transactions we got done, we're very proud of the activity that we got and the results that we achieved. But the things that are harder to measure are the things that we accomplished, such as getting projects entitled. We successfully navigated through the California Coastal Commission and the City of Huntington Beach to achieve approval for our Magnolia Tank Farm, or as we now call it, our Magnolia Coast Project, where we got approval unanimously from both the City Council and the Coastal Commission for 204 luxury homes, 50 affordable units, and a 215-key hotel. Development on that project will start in 2025, and people will be occupying those homes in the years coming. I'm very pleased of the work that we've accomplished with that and our numerous other projects. Probably the most challenging thing this year was the financing markets. We had a number of projects that needed to either be financed or refinanced. And through the help of our advisors, we've been able to work through those choppy waters and get every financing done that we needed to do to date. And we still, as I sit here in early November, have 4 additional financings to close before the end of the year. For that, I'm very grateful and very pleased. And I would say I overall have a very optimistic feel about not only what we did and what the team accomplished here at Shopoff Realty Investments in 2024, but the groundwork we've laid for 2025. Now I want to turn our attention to what we see as the future, 2025 and beyond. There's a couple of opportunities that we see. One is in upcoming debt maturities of others. As I said, we at Shopoff have been able to navigate the ones that we've been encountering, but we see opportunities in others who may have been over-levered, and there may be opportunities. We pursued several of those during 2024 and didn't land one, but we still are fishing in that pond and would be surprised if we don't bring home 1 or 2 opportunities in 2025 through the acquisition of distressed or opportunistic debt. That could be in the multifamily space or also an area that we're seeing great opportunity in, which is the office market. Not because we love the office space, we're generally somewhat pessimistic to quite bearish about the office market. But we do see great opportunity to acquire office buildings with an idea of utilizing them for other things. We have 2 buildings that we will be acquiring in early 2025 with the idea of short-term rental to the existing tenancy and then ultimately demolishing those buildings and redeveloping those sites into vibrant residential communities, bringing the new out of what was the old and kind of tired office market. But at the same time, there are some office opportunities that are presenting themselves to us where values are just so inexpensive, cheap, where we're able to buy buildings for pennies on the dollar, and that becomes an interesting opportunity to delve into the office market where I won't say there can't lose opportunities, but there are great cash flowing opportunities. And if there's any kind of recovery at all in the office market, we'll be well poised to take advantage of that. The other 2 areas where we're spending our focus and attention is we'll roll out our workforce housing program in 2025. We've been working on this for several years, and we've got our first starts for about 250 units next year, and that should grow incrementally over the subsequent years to what we had hoped to as a 500 to 1,000 unit a year business, developing great housing for working class people that not only provides us a great economic result, but also able to contribute to the community by providing quality housing for those folks who need it so best. Last but not least is our industrial platform. We have a substantial pipeline in the industrial business, about 8 million square feet remaining to build, with our first 1 million square foot construction project to begin in January of 2025, with another several million square feet to begin in later 25 and 26. Additionally, we have another 4 to 5 million square feet of development capability in the greater Phoenix metro. I think this is really well poised to take advantage of the growth in e-commerce as well as onshoring. And so we're very pleased with how we've set the business up for that particular leg of our business. But additionally, we've got a robust pipeline overall. Our residential business, both our for sale housing land business to builders, our rental housing business, both in our multifamily luxury product as well as our workforce product. We've got a very ample and robust pipeline to carry us forward really for the rest of the decade. And so I'm very pleased with what the team has accomplished and how we've set forth here to be prepared for the coming years. In closing, I'd like to thank, first of all, my team here at Shop-Off Realty Investments. Without them, we would accomplish none of the great things we do, both for our investors, but also for the communities we work within. I think we've been given a great privilege and honor to go add value to each and every one of these communities, and for that, I'm extremely proud. Very optimistic about the future. I look forward for the opportunities that have been presented to us, and want to thank each and every one of you for paying attention to what we do here at Shop-Off Realty Investments and the opportunity to work with each of you.